bụ na isi na ị na-agbadata Igbo na Anambra steeti ka ị na-eje nwanne bụ n'ogwu jebe na Residency Hotels Neofilo.
Okay, guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. Please like, subscribe, and share. Right, hit the subscribe button right here. Remember to check out this book on Amazon.com. Hip Hop and Igbo Culture by yours faithfully, Martin Ifan Quick. All right, you're welcome.
Ife Idioke, ịbanyekwa na their outdoor arena where you can even have all types of events from wedding down to birthday party. Igbo ọbụla a na-eme eme enwekwara a very clean swimming pool of one Residency Hotels Leofino Gidi Ordina, a very serene and secured environment at kilometer 13 Old Onitsha Enugu Express Road. You can also call them for reservation on 081 40 933 512. Residency Hotels Leofino Gidi. If I on ebe ọ na-adị nwanne m say no more.
Ladies and gentlemen, tighten your seatbelt as we take you on this smooth ride. Let's go! It's the morning drive on 103.5 Ebona DFM, keeping your morning engaging as we take you through the smoothest ride on radio.
From 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Getting your morning inspired, be informed. Let's interact only on the morning drive.
Make it a date with Martin Ifan aka Meta.
And Christy, aka Classy.
From Monday to Friday, from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
on the morning drive.
103.5 FM DSS.
Good morning and welcome to Ebona Day 103.5 FM. Today, the 5th day of April 2024. Today is Friday and the time is 2 minutes past the hour of 7. It's time for newspaper headlines on Ebona Day 103.5 FM. This morning we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers. But before we do that, let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that the complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that the complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. This morning, we are going to take you through the news, making the headlines on The Guardian, Leadership, Vanguard, Punch, Sun, Daily Post, This Day, The Nation, and if time permits, we're also going to take a look at the Nigerian Tribune newspapers. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080 96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Ebonade 103.5 FM. I am Martin. Let's get started with the Guardian newspaper this morning. Oluwalefe unveils global BPO platform for top Ekiti graduates. Tinubu tax ECOWAS parliament on unity, backs direct election. Kanu governor inaugurates panel to probe political violence, misappropriation. Abia loses goods worth 500 billion naira to 20 fire incidents in 4 months. Ibadan, elders move to settle Ladoja, Obas rift over Olubadan stool. ASR supports Castina Varsity with 250 million naira to build college. Researchers, startups to develop framework for artificial intelligence adoption. Police ignores court's order on remand of Lagos businessman. I have found cure for HIV/AIDS, researcher claims. Electricity tariff hike in crosshairs as opposition intensifies. Taraba promises support for storm victims. Student loan holds a brighter future for youths, Tinubu declares. Universal Energy Facility signs grant agreements with 19 clean energy developers. Senate, not me, suspended Ningi. Akpabio replies Falana. Igboho institutes 500 million naira defamation suit against Adams. Navy arrests 14 oil tips, seizes over 210 metric tons of crude. Ibadopoli retirees demand increased funding for gratuity. Residents seek suspension of Etiosa LCDA boss for alleged 1.9 billion naira fraud. Nigerians vaccinated in median Lassa fever vaccine clinical trial. Igbo need restructured Nigeria. Kanu's release than Biafra. Pandemonium as a fire guts Lagos hospital. Failure to serve charges on Binance executive stalls arraignment. Sanwo-Olu pledges early completion of road projects in Ebe. Rivers APC accuses Fubara of plot to declare assembly illegal. Moabudu joins International Emmy Board, vows to champion African stories. Police nab 5 suspected kidnappers in Rivers. PFM President Wale Oke loses mother. Federal government decries states' non-adherence to boundary instruments. Amotekun boss urges Southwest governors to support creation of state police. Firms partner on sustainable clean energy for Africa. Slain soldiers' arms ammunition in Okwama still missing. Military says 41 killed, 222 kidnapped, 88 million naira ransom paid in Kaduna, Niger. Group laments. Joint task force neutralizes suspected kidnapper in Nasarawa. Oyo allays fear over alleged poisoned cows. Yoruba group warns politicians against undermining democracy in Nigeria. Nigeria emerges UN Habitat Board chair. Adekanye takes NIBSS to industrial court over termination of appointment. EFCC to arraign Bobrisky for 180.7 million naira money laundering. Eddie King follows up with new track. Agency targets quarterly rehabilitation of 50 kilometers of roads in Niger. Kogi poll. SDP had agents across polling units. Witness tells tribunal. Electricity. AEDC apologizes to refund banned a customers over system glitches. Electricity. AEDC apologizes to refund banned A customers over system glitches. Para Commissioner refutes allegations of government interference in ex-governor's corruption trial. Student loan. Every Nigerian child guaranteed a bright future, says Tinubu. Ondo election. ADP takes nomination form at 12.5 million naira. Kanu bans movies showing cross-dressing, thuggery. Kanu governor reopens judicial inquiry to probe Ganduje, Dogowa. Electricity tariff. Senate vows to protect interests of Nigerians. Navy arrests 14 suspected oil thieves, seizes 210 metric tons of crude. List of Lagos areas on Band A to enjoy 20 hours electricity. Okuama, Delta Monarch still in our custody, military. Ningi's suspension, resolution of Senate not Akpabio's, Council replies Falana. UCH resident doctors not part of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. working condition, President. Sanwo-Olu announces full reopening of Third Mainland Bridge. Inspector General of Police vows Interpol will rearrest the fleeing Binance executive. Nnamdi Kanu emulates Kalo in seeking political solution. Ugechinyere tells Southeast leaders. Federal government worried over refusal of states to adhere to legal boundary instruments. 13 Obajana auto crash victims moved to Plateau for burial. FRSC, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, pledges increased involvement in sports to check drug abuse, trafficking. We must deliver campaign promises to Nigerians. Tinubu. Nigerians outraged by electricity tariff hike. 2024 Hajj, beware of fraudsters. Nakon cautions intending pilgrims. Police arrest 4 for alleged illegal mining in Brunu. Binance arraignment suffers setback over non-service of charge. Ododo unveils Metropolitan Quick Response Squad to tackle security challenges in Kogi. Ododo unveils a Metropolitan Quick Response Squad to tackle security challenges in Kogi. Hawaii Cloud empowers 100 Nigerian startups at its launches program. Police rescue victim of Eke Ebe Road kidnap. Try abductors. Again, fire gods Gamboru Market in Brunu. IDICE program will redefine nation's digital creative landscape. Chetima. IDICE program will redefine nation's digital creative landscape. Chetima. Nigeria to begin local production of passport. Federal government opens application for scholarship in Slovakia. NEMA deploys search rescue equipment for rainy season preparedness. U.S. government backs Nigeria's creative economy through TV script writing. Nigerian Navy discovers illegal fuel depot in Lagos, arrests 5. Telecoms Union suspends a planned strike. Wife of detained Binance executives appeals to Tinubu, free my husband. Foundation move to curb maternal mortality rate in FCT. 2 million households to pay 225 naira per kilowatt as a prepaid meter may hit 300,000. Transparency, eligibility, concerns unsettled new attempt at student loan scheme. Don't dare me. Fubara warns Wike's loyalist. Okuama killing, act of treason to intimidate Tinubu group alleges. That's the much we can take from the Guardian newspaper this morning. From the Guardian newspaper, we'll flip over to the Leadership newspaper. The Macallan, my ATA4 collaborates to mentor aspiring fashion entrepreneurs. NAICOM collaborates with FCTA to combat insurance irregularities. UBA unveils a scan to resolve complaint portal for enhanced customer experience. Our economy is looking up. Tinubu. NESREA stakeholders to eliminate lead from paint in Nigeria. New tariff. AEDC reports system glitches to refund SS charges. Navy arrest 5, intercepts 65,000 liters of diesel in Lagos. Akintomide joins Petian Partners Board. Universal Energy Facility signs grant agreements with 19 clean developers. Stanbic IBTC launches enhanced app for business owners. Federal government targets 2040 to phase out 344.9 tons HCFC consumption. Expert demands tax holidays to boost FDIs in maritime sector. Sahara Group strengthens security in FCT. Recapitalization. Measures to reduce number of Nigerian banks soon. ARM. Current global billionaires under 30 inherited wealth. Forbes. APs increases London route capacity. Targets New York, Houston. NIN SIM linkage. NCC justifies deadline extension to July 31st. New Band A tariff. NERC orders automatic downgrade after 7 days non-performance. New Band A tariff. NERC orders automatic downgrade after 7 days non-performance towards avoiding palliatives stampede deaths. Jonathan and Sam, 2 books, 1 message. Repeal Student Loan Act was unimplementable. Presidency. We must unite against divisive forces. Tinubu charges ECOWAS. Opposition mounts against electricity tariff hike. Kanu governor begins probe of Ganduje. Okuama 17. Army to declare more suspects wanted. Student loan. Everything you need to know. Navy naps 14 suspected oil thieves. Seizes 210 metric tons of crude. Nigeria manufacturers capable, ready to produce vaccines. Tinubu. Nigerian manufacturers capable, ready to produce vaccines. Tinubu. Kwara government not behind ex-governor Ahmed's trial. Commissioner. NFF condones with Chegu Odemami over son's death. Don't blame me for Ningi's suspension. Akpabio replies Falana. Ekiti lawmaker donates seedlings, agric inputs to 153 farmers. Bandits kill 5, release 51 after ransom payment. Nigeria emerges chair of United Nations Habitat Executive Board. Naira abuse. Bobrisky granted bail, fails to meet conditions. Let's unite against divisive forces. Health workers protest death of colleague in Kogi. That's the much we can take from the leadership newspaper this morning. From the leadership newspaper, we'll flip over to Vanguard newspaper. CBN governor headlines Vanguard Economic Summit amidst Naira recovery. Ramadan Day 26. Body parts disappeared. Controversy trails death of a 42-year-old woman in auto crash. Okuama. Killings. Army recovers stolen weapons. Tariff hike. Discos returning consumers to Band A following discrepancies. Allen the Magnificent. Tariff hike. Discos will take in this. How new gas price template for strategic sectors will benefit Nigerians. Hostages to Islamic State, Israeli State, and United States. Edo Guba. NRM protests INEC's exclusion of its candidate. UK increases minimum wage of immigrants by 48%. Dollar saga. Kanu government files fresh legal suit against Ganduje, wife, 6 others. Dollar saga. Kanu government files fresh legal suit against Ganduje wife, 6 others. Fake Rivers PDP CTC list can't stand Fubara. Akpabio denies responsibility for Ningi's suspension, replies Falana's allegations. Tinubu backs call for direct election for ECOWAS parliamentarians. Tinubu backs call for direct election for ECOWAS parliamentarians. PDP caretaker list fake, can't stand Governor Fubara. Still on the stories making the headlines on Guard newspaper this morning. Fire got section of Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. Management begins investigation. Electricity concerns as tariff hike hits consumers. Ilesa varsity staff dead after truck falls over her car. No more torture of suspects. We now conduct professional interviews. Police. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Senator Natasha, DSP Jibrin, others inaugurated as ECOWAS parliament members. 7 daily habits for healthier lifestyle. 17 days after, Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company restores power supply to University College Hospital, Ibadan. Why residents of Okwama community can't access their homes now. Chief of Defense Staff. And that's the much we can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning. From the Vanguard newspaper, we'll flip over to the Punch newspaper. Military widows canvass support for families of 17 slain soldiers. Others, poor power supply, killing Delta hospitality industry. Stakeholders, cleric gives widows, parishioners food items, clothes. Set up project monitoring team. Group urges Delta governor. 25 deceased corpse families get 39 million naira in Kogi. Military releases names of killed Boko Haram commanders. 141 terror cases, 214 kidnappings recorded in 8 weeks. Inspector General. Fubara seeking illegal court order to remove pro-Wike lawmakers. APC. 400 million naira charges. Bob Risky detained in lone cell faces arraignment today. Bayelsa Assembly passes medical residency training bill. Nwoko opens consultancy office, urges security awareness. Niger Delta youth leader demands a federal police in Ogbe Ijo. Impeachment. Chaibu gets final chance to open defense. EFCC stopped service of charges on Binance chief. FIRS alleges. Kanu government charges Ganduje wife with $413,000, 1.38 billion naira bribery. Kanu anti-graft agency boss arraigned, suspended over bribery allegation. Navy uncovers Rivers illegal refinery, arrest 14. University College Hospital doctors not part of night duty boycott. Union innovative app wins $7.2 million scholarships. Governorship election group plans digital training for Edo voters. FRSC impounds 35 trailers conveying 982 passengers. Rivers Commissioner of Police decorates newly promoted officers, urges discipline. Lagos State government meets community over Lagos Calabar Coastal Road project. Sanwo-Olu advises HR professionals on youth leadership. Niger, Mali, Guinea's withdrawal will cost ECOWAS $1 billion. Torre, 15 other APC governorship aspirants can't stop me. Ayedatiwa. BUA's 250 million naira building excites Castana Varsity. Building Ayedatiwa will ruin APC chances. Akeredoro's ex-aide. How man offered teenagers 10,000 naira to burn IDP camp. Police. Gani Adams ready for Igboho's 500 million naira Lego battle, says aide. Ogun talent hunt targets 1,000 brilliant students. And that's the much we can take from the Punch newspaper this morning. From the Punch newspaper, we'll flip over to the Sun newspaper. Defense headquarters confirms Minok, other terrorist commanders dead. South Africa Parliament Speaker charged with corruption granted bail. Southeast governors, ministers for 35th Enugu International Trade Fair. Medicine as palliatives will reduce death among poor persons. Niger Delta youths to assist in exposing soldiers' killers. While Labour Party must hold real convention. Oshun Tokun. APC leadership does not favor North Central. Lukman. Budget pardon allegation. I didn't suspend Ningi, but the Senate. Akpabio replies Falana. Ondo Guba. ADP pegs nomination form at 0.5 million naira. Adamawa. Labour Party sacks state chairman over anti-party activities. Edo. April 5th, fixed as final adjournment for Deputy Governor's defense in impeachment case. NIN SIM linkage. NCC gives a reason for extension of deadline to July 31st. Wrongful termination. Adekayen's son sues Nigerian interbank settlement system, demands 1.41 billion naira damages. Fuel queues resurface in Lagos as supply dips. NICOM. FCTA collaborates to eliminate fraud, fake third-party insurance. Medicine as palliatives will reduce death among poor persons. Still on the story is making the headlines on the Sun newspaper this morning. South African footballer shot dead in car hijacking. NFF mourns with Odebami. Super Eagles slip 2 steps down in FIFA rankings. The plan to establish state police. The rescue of Kuriga school children. The inauguration of a president. Fight. And that's the much we can take from the Sun newspaper this morning. From the Sun newspaper, we flip over to the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Restore my revoked bail. Nnamdi Kanu tells court. Pray for Tinubu's administration. Wike urges religious leaders. Nigeria capable of producing vaccines. Tinubu boast to Gavi executives. Nigeria capable of producing vaccines. Tinubu boasts to Gavi executives. Edo Assembly gives BEDC TCN 2 months ultimatum to improve electricity service. Ondoguba, I've got nothing to fear. Ayedatiwa, Deputy Senate President Barrow becomes acting Speaker of ECOWAS Parliament. Gaza War. Address civilian harms sufferings. U.S. gives conditions to support Israel. Gaza War. Address civilians' harms, sufferings. U.S. gives condition to support Israel. FCT, Wike appoints Tamuno MD of Abuja Investment Company. X to remove boats, throw accounts. Climate change. Yobe establishes 3 weather stations. ECOWAS, we must reject forces bent on causing division. Tinubu, budget pardon. I am not responsible for Ningi's suspension. Akpabio replies Falana. That's the much we can take from the Daily Post newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning. From the Daily Post newspaper, we'll flip over to the Nation newspaper. Sustaining new gas pricing template. Tinubu eulogizes Oshemule at 72. DSS interfering in my defense preparation. Kanu tells court. Arraignment of Binance officials stalled. Chaibu cancel Chon probe panel for disobeying court order. Police applicants to begin medical screening April 16th. Tinubu inaugurates ECOWAS Parliament. Ekiti lawmaker empowers 153 farmers with inputs. Nimet to Nigerians brace for heat stress. Ningi's suspension not personal. Akpabio tells Falana. Still on the stories making the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. Ningi's suspension, parliamentary decision. Akpabio replies Falana. Nimet warns of impending heat stress. Wike's monarch, leader, councillors declare support for Fubara. Senate will make position known on electricity hike on resumption, says a spokesman. Jail term, fine. Other consequences for mutilation, abuse of naira notes. EFCC arrest impostor over alleged 500,000 naira fraud. Police escort dies aboard Abuja Kaduna train. Police escort dies aboard Abuja Kaduna train. Nnamdi Kanu appeals against trial court ruling. Bob Risky fails to meet EFCC bail conditions. That's the much we can take from the Nation newspaper this morning. You are listening to newspaper headlines on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. When I go for a short break, when we come back, we'll continue on the stories making the headlines. Please stay with us.
All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, invites you to the inauguration of Solution Kindred Initiative. Kindred Initiative SKI as a special guest as we unveil the ultimate grassroots initiative of the solution movement powered by the state leadership of APGA. It is therefore my pleasure to invite you to this maiden inauguration of Solution Kindred Initiative SKI under the distinguished chairmanship of the national chairman of All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA, Barrister Slias Okenwa, taking place as follows. Date Saturday 6th of April 2024. Venue Idemili North Local Government Headquarters Ogidi. Time 12 noon. Sign High Chief Saifa Tobiokoi, APGA State Chairman. My big will make on the hill.
The family of Chief Jim Martins Nwabese and his lolo, Iyom Ochudo of Ugweze Village, Umudioka, Junukopia local government area, cordially invites the general public to the conferment of the chieftaincy title as Ishe Akubudike I of Umudioka by His Royal Highness Igwe Raphael Chukura Ezedioka, the second of Umudioka, in Yazin with Onowu High Chief Ben Amota and Igwe in council on Saturday, 6th April 2024 by 2 p.m. at Igwe's Palace, Umudioka. Reception at Ishe Akubudike's Villa, Umudioka.
Join Divine Galilee Christ Assembly Mission Ogidi on their weekly activities for your undiluted word of God, deliverance, and unlimited blessings. Every Tuesday, prophetic service and deliverance, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Every Thursday, counseling, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Every Friday, Night of Vengeance, 9 p.m. till dawn. Venue, permanent site, former Buzo bus stop, Edoma Estate, Ogidi. Phone 0806 797 3760 or 0813 699 4615. For Asaba branch, every Monday is counseling 8 a.m. to 12 noon. Wednesdays, prophetic service and deliverance 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sundays, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Venue number 5, Andy Oko Street, Bonsac, behind the Seat of Wisdom School, Asaba. Phone 0806 595 2899. Host Mommy Blessing, aka Anugo, the General Overseer. Come and experience the light of God.
Holy Ghost Adoration Ministry, Anambra, Nigeria presents 3 days camping program to begin her 90 days prayer bullet, midnight prayer. Date Friday 5th to Sunday 7th April 2024. Time morning, afternoon, and night daily. Venue Holy Ghost Adoration Ground Prayer begins on Monday 8th April to Saturday 8th July 2024. Host Reverend Father Emmanuel Obimma Ebubemonso, Spiritual Director. Oga Adikwegu Eligwe Gemepe Ndiruga Wusangozi Umuchukuga Saloko. Join us on social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube at Father Ebubemonso, which is spelled as FADA space EBUBE space MUONSO. Come and receive God's blessings in abundance.
Conflict people another one opportunity don't land for you to secure your own landed property for better location with small money before price will carry you go where you don't know. This one na legit info from the stables of Robin Fave Concept Limited. I know say you don't sabi that name by now. Robin Fave Concept Limited now big name for this real estate business. We get the track record and we dey deliver for everything we talk. Now we bring you Blessed Garden Estate, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Now we still bring you Airlight Garden Estate and Unique Garden Estate. All these estates, they're the capital city of Delta State, and people when sabi levels don't buy them finish. But no worry, because land no dey finish, and our work na direct you go where you go get the best value for your money. This time, we don't carry and come your domot with the brand new Golden City Garden Estate, Otulu, just 2 minutes from Akuku Igbo local government secretariat. This one now confirmed premium estate when you fit get with small money, when no go turn your eye at all. Just 400,000 naira for one plot inside our special promo when they on now, from now till 2 weeks time. This estate dey for Otulu off Asaba Benin Expressway, just 2 minutes from Asaba Housing Estate and 5 minutes from Wichtech Group of Companies. Golden City Garden Estate dey for good location when be say na only 20 minutes e go take from Coca Junction flyover, 10 minutes from Asaba International Airport, and e no far from the express route. For inside Golden City Garden Estate, you go enjoy light and water 247. The environment clean and the day serene for you and your family with good road network and street light go dey shine for every corner. You no go worry about security because solid fence dey around the estate and security men when them train wella go man the gate 247. On top that one, recreational center dey for your maximum relaxation. Wetin you dey wait for? Waka come Robin Fave Concept Limited office make you collect your own plot inside the brand new Golden City Garden Estate. Because special promo dey on now, and for this promo season, you go get 464 square meters of land when be 50 by 100, one plot for only 400,000 naira. This promo now for only 2 weeks. So no dull yourself. With only 400k, you don't become landlord inside this correct estate for we capital city. Call us today for 081 68 32 2403. That is 081 68 32 2403. I say 081 68 32 2403. Once you pay, we go allocate your land, give you sharply, plus give you deed of assignment, register survey plan, and government approved decision. When go show say even government confirm wetin we do, you no get anything to worry about. Now we dey run am. If you no get all the money to pay now, you fit dey pay small for the one wey they call installment payment plan. Whether na 3 months, 6 months, or even 12 months, as long as you no go turn your eye, better payment plan dey for you to choose. Take advantage of this special promo when they on now unto say one plot of land, 464 square meters, now only 400,000 naira. Because once this promo end, the price go increase small, and the promo now just 2 weeks it go last. Secure the future for you and your family. Buy your own land today. Make yourself become landlord inside the new Golden City Garden Estate, Otulu, when be only 2 minutes from Akuku Igbo local government secretariat. Come our office when they inside Jimok petrol station, kilometer 8, Asaba Benin Expressway, Asaba, Delta State. Or call us on top 081 68 32 2403. That is 081 68 32 2403. I say 081 68 32 2403. How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebon and FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be in your community, Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifan DSS number the force every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Epona 103.5 FM as street reports on foods in your face. On Emas Nebona the corner 24/7, 24/7.
You're welcome back to Newspaper Headlines on Airborne at the 103.5 FM. Remember that you can become part of the conversation by sending your reactions via SMS or WhatsApp messages on 080-96661035. You can as well join us on Facebook as we are live at Airborne at the 103.5 FM. Drop your comments on the comment section of the live video. Stream us online via mixlr.com/gistfm. We are on to this day newspaper. Naira sustains gain, reaches 1,255 naira per dollar at official window, 1,245 naira per dollar at apparel market. Tinubu to corporate Nigeria. I have no excuse to underperform. I campaigned for the job. Tinubu to Gavi, CEO, Nigeria's ability to produce vaccines not in doubt. Tinubu to Gavi, CEO, Nigeria's ability to produce vaccines not in doubt. NEC, electricity tariff increase would reduce grid collapses, enhance supply. Pengasen tackles federal government states over Nigeria's alleged 107 trillion naira debt profile. Oba of Benin, Ikimi, reflect on their days in foreign service. Eichmann urges NMPC to account for funds spent on Kolomani River oil drilling campaign. Pengasen tackles federal government states over Nigeria's alleged 107 trillion naira debt profile. We've taken this. Get properly risk blacklisting. Engineering Council warns University of Calabar, Adamawa Varsity. Edo impeachment. Panel fixes today for final adjournment. Chaibu Council absent. PMI report. Productivity grew slightly in March despite strong inflationary pressure. NCS enhancing trade facilitation with AEO program. MoneyPoint redefines payment with a flexible option. Stanbic IBTC Bank wins big at 2024 Euro Money Awards. Nigerian Airlines suffering misconduct of their forebears. In tribute to Muhammad Ali, Polo Luxury introduces Mont Blanc Great Characters Collection. Visa expands global value-added services business with artificial intelligence solutions. That's the much we can take from this day newspaper this morning. Still on the stories making the headlines on Nigerian newspapers this morning. From this day newspaper, we'll flip over to Nigerian Tribune. Verify land status with GIS. Parapoli alumni. Stakeholders urge property owners. 10 animals with interesting personal grooming abilities. Davido acquires third private jet worth 102 billion naira. Alleged money laundering. Other 5-count charge against Bob Risky. NMHP USA to launch Nigeria American Institute for Mental Health in Enugu. Enugu government to partner rural communities on provision of clean water. 2024 Hajj now consigns airlift agreement with Max Air Peace. Abuja Monarch makes case for establishment of Nigerian Peace Corps. I didn't suspend Ningi. Senate D. Akpabio replies Falana. Tinubu backs direct election for ECOWAS parliamentarians. Support Ondo South aspirants. Ex-Niger Delta Development Commission board member urges political parties. Non-governmental organization laments rise in maternal death among adolescent girls. Amotekun Council share advocates for state police to tackle insecurity. Amotekun Council share advocates for state police to tackle insecurity. Ondo 2024, Kekemeke's aspiration gets boost as group declares support. That's the much we can take from Nigerian Tribune this morning, and that will also mark the conclusion of all that we have for you on this particular edition of newspaper headlines on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. We'll now flip over to our WhatsApp portal for reactions. From our WhatsApp portal this morning, we have this message coming from Comrade Manley Uduago from Odumobosi. And it says, when you sit to study Nigeria and the ongoings, you will wholly agree it is not a mistake of ignorance or lack of patriotism and sophistication. Citizens will remember vividly the colonial era and yearn for the return of our SY colonial masters, such a state of mind. Such yearnings is a reproach for opportunities lost. For this apparent fixation on the bubbles of sovereignty, for the lack of purpose endemic in our system, and a reproach for our collective failure. Truly, Nigeria, without an indigenous ideology, may not fulfill the aspirations of Nigerians. It is unfought, and as far as our dearly beloved country is concerned, let me sum up the situation thus. No indigenous ideology, no greatness. May God see us through. Comrade Manley Oduogo from Odumobosi, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Sunday Ikena and it's watching us live from Nnobi. Thank you so much for joining us. We have this one. It's coming from Augustine Ezewaka from Umueze, Umunachi. And he says it is now over 2 years. The heinous killing of one Miss Samuel, a 2 years student of Chagare University in Sokoto by Islamic students for an allegation of blasphemous statement against a prophet. Okay, we took this message from you yesterday, but thank you so much for joining us this morning, Augustine Ezenwaka. But I think what you're trying to make, he says police made some arrests, including the man who masterminded. Okay, same message, but thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from Agunabo. He's joining us from Ofa Aguluzibu, and he says Igbo's marginalization saga, continuous holding of Nnamdi Kanu, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and restructurings and confab is good, but we need, and he says, so that this, and farmers' conflicts roaming around the cows will stop. And he says, we'll live in peace with each other. Army to disclose the top Boko Haram is a welcome development, and navies discovered illegal oil theft and arrested them is good. And he says, let the Delta use fish out killers of the soldiers. It's a welcome addition, and let them not appoint or point at the innocent people. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Chinedu Oneka, pastor, and he says, we asking Nigerians to continue praying for Tinubu. For how long will we continue to pray for our leaders while they will deliberately ignore the citizens and keep on doing what they are doing? No matter how intensively and extensively we pray for them, they are the ones to respond to our prayers. Nigeria is really blessed, but bad leaders and bad governance is our problem. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It is coming from Esther from Ifitedunu, and she says, I could remember when Nigeria is far better than Ghana, but the whole change has turned around. Ghana is now far better than Nigeria. High cost of food and lack of power supply is becoming worse. May God help us. Esther from Ifitedunu. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson. He's joining us from 33, and he says, I may recover stolen weapons over Okuama killings is a welcome development, but they should treat residents with mercy as a residents of Delta community cry out over alleged torture by soldiers and one dead. He says victims' eardrum impaired, another can't work because of military torture. And he says tariff hike. This goes returning consumers to ban A following discrepancies is not accurate at all. Okay, it's coming from Engineer Ebuka Joshua Dawson from 33. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It is coming from Waloto Patrick from Monteje. And he says, I think Ugochinyere is correct when he urged the Southeast leaders to resort to political solution for the release of Mazen Kanu. I am also of the opinion that solution for any problem does not come through violence. It is true it is true that Mazen Kanu was extraordinarily rendited from Kenya, and also that he has been illegally detained for nearly 3 years now, and all the entreaties from notable persons from Southeast, including Governor Soludo of Anambra State, towards the release of Nnamdi Kanu, yielding no positive result. I still believe that there is still the need for more efforts to be made. In the light of above, therefore, I want to use this opportunity to urge every Onibo to sheath his sword and channel all his efforts towards political solution for the young man's release. If it warrants a begging, let us beg the federal government to release the young man. The most important thing is that he is released at the end of the day. I seriously believe that it is only the living can talk of what he or she can do. The dead cannot do that. And that is where the Ohanese has a lot of work to do. Maluto Patrick from Monteja. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Chike Obata from Obinetiti Okozo. And he says, happy weekend. Student loan, please let Mr. President Tinubu add some commercial universities that fulfill the government standard. And he says Nnamdi Kanu release is important than any other thing. Chief of Defense saying that Okuama people not return home now. My question is it how it happened in other states where Nigerian soldiers were killed? Let me say it again. We need Nnamdi Kanu's release. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It's coming from White Lion of Africa, and it says Akpabio is now defending himself for not suspending Senator Ningi, but he has the power to stop the illegal suspension. Kanu government probe. Ganduje and family to face a probe. Nigeria leaders should be careful because power always shifts. Wike and Fubara saga. Wike is losing his respect as a river stakeholder. River State stakeholders. Wike should know that God can change any situation. Godfatherism have stopped in Nigerian politics. He continued and says, the federal government should ensure that he is released. I wonder what they are looking for. Electricity tariff hike. Another problem to be faced by Nigerians. This country, after independence, have shown they can't be independent. He says state police is not the best solution to Nigeria's insecurity problem. The government should help the masses. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning, White Lion. We have this one. It's coming from Sopruchi from Onitsha. And it says student loan signed into bill by President Bola Tinubu. I want to ask them a question. If a student borrow loan from the student loan and they successfully graduate from the school and there was no job for that student, where will he or she get money to pay back the loan, which stipulated 2 years for 2 years? I urge the federal government to reduce the price of school fees of those institutions that this student loan for me. The student loan is rubbish. The best thing they will do for the student in this country is to reduce the price of school fees so that even the poor ones can access university. Let our government stop deceiving themselves and the right thing for once. And he says in this country, a student will graduate from the university and have no job in this country. They are talking about implementation of student loan with you. Okay. And he says, I like what Governor of Rivers State, Governor Fubara, said. He should stand up and fight for his right. Let him not allow anybody to intimidate him. Wike, okay, we've gotten this message from you before. And he says, please, I have a question for the military. If the measurement they are using to fight a town in a Delta state, why can't they use the same measure to go into Sambisa forest and hunt down all these hook around and ban it? that it is this that is disturbing this country. They are busy killing. Okay, and he says the judiciary have failed the country, and they will continue seeing more disobedience and others to these politicians because they have lowered themselves to the politicians by collecting. And he says the judiciary meant to be the hope of the country, but they have destroyed the procedure and their integrity. Okay, and he says, please, I want to help to tell our president Bola Tinubu to stop giving promise. Let him put it into action. Senator Fabio should go to. Okay, and he says, what I know that whether they would like it or not, leader Mazen and Kanu must come out from the detention. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now we have this message. It is coming from Obiora from Okozo, and he says, why Ugoma town can't access their homes? Okay, now says Army, if Nigeria Army attack insecurities in Nigeria the way they attacked Okuama villagers, insecurities in Nigeria the way they attacked Okuama villagers, insecurity in Nigeria would have been a story of the past. But because they are expert in combating unarmed civilians, that's why they persisted to wipe out the town. But if they believe that they are fearless, let them go to the north and show their braveness. Okay, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We also have this message. It's coming from John Ume from Okozo, and he says, so the issue of budget padding raised by Senator Abu Ningi has been swept under the carpet. It is now history and has gone the way many other high-profile cases have gone because they always have the backing and support of the presidency. Since all of them are partners, and how can a country forward? Honestly speaking, these are the people holding this country in captivity, and that's the reason why we are not making headway. John Ume, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this message. It's coming from Valentine Edene from Mpo, and he says, does it mean dollar control about the hike of fuel without a deliberate of hike on not Nigerian currency? Nigerians, wake up. Okay, Valentine Edene from Mpo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We have this one. It's coming from Opaka from Apo, and he says, ideology of good governance. The pattern is very clear. State police is not a solution of insecurity situation because most kidnapping activities happens closely to military checkpoints. To go, Opaka from Apo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. From our WhatsApp portal, we'll flip over to our Facebook portal. We have this message. It's coming from Dr. Mrs. Mma Olebara from. She says, greed and instability are the root causes of all these Wike's brouhaha. He should allow Fubara to govern peacefully and provide dividends of democracy to his people. Wike has played his part and should is God watching all over our actions and inaction. I also want him to know that power is transient, as nothing lasts forever. Whatever we do today becomes history tomorrow. So let him be cautious. Wike, know thyself. We also have a message coming from also Francis from Namani, also Francis Namani from Amagunze in Enugu State. Okay, and he says, thank God it's Friday. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Sir White from Nice says Tinubu should, as a matter of urgency, rescue Nigerians from the hands of kidnappers. Okay, thank you so much for joining us, Sir White. And this is the spot where we'll call it a day on this part, 7 o'clock. So keep a date and don't touch the dial of Ebonade. 8:20 this morning, we'll be back with Birthday Splash. Till we meet again, I am Martin. Have a fabulous morning.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Airborne FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be, government, whatever. Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifanishku, DSS number the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Epona 103.5 FM as strict reports on foods in your face. On Emas Nebona de Kona 24/7, 24/7.
Man is a political animal. That's why we all have our views on politics. Political View comes to you at Ebonade 103.5 FM. Martin is all about the day-to-day activities in the Nigerian space. Views of political actors from various political parties on political process. Views of labor leaders. And most importantly, your views. Views of the common Nigerian. Tune in to Ebonade 103.5 FM or you join online via mixlr.com/gistfm every Monday and Saturday. What are your political views? Keep a date.
Family is the foundation of the society. Now, never now the 103.5 FM, whereby the Netinaya, go
Papa, Mama, na ụmụaka maka ịmata ihe gbasara ezinụlọ sonyelu classic lady
classic lady.
n'ebe ọ na-adị 103.5
FM, no girl be no more. Canada, every Tuesday and Friday, 3 to 4 p.m.
The Transition Committee Chairman, Idemili North Council, Ezoba Chooks Brown Ibanwa, warmly welcomes the National Chairman of All Progressives Grand Alliance, Barrister Sly Ezokenwa, and SKI, holding Saturday, April 6, 2024, at Idemili North Council Secretariat, with our capable national and state leaders. You are welcome to Idemili North, in the Abga Idemili North. Let us come out and receive our leaders and members of our great party, ABGA, on this auspicious event. God bless you as you arrive in Idemili North. Signed, Ezoba Chooks Brown Ibanwa, TC Chairman, Idemili North Council.
Akụkọ ifo, ilu Igbo nakwa abụ bụ ihe eji mara ndị Igbo. Ya mere Igbo ji kwuo okwu sị na ọnwa tibe iji abụba ngwụrọ kpatara na akata ụka dị onye ọrịa mma ọsị ka ewelite Chinua Achebe jiri kwuo sị n'ihe anyị ji apụta egwu ọnwa abụghị na onye ọbụla nọ na be ya agaghị ahụ ọnwa kama na ọ bụ ka anyị nọrọ ya ịnụgo akụkọ.
Okay, guys. Thank you also by yours faithfully on Amazon.com. All right, check it out. Martin Ifan Shkwik is it. Dalon, good morning.